So for those who will be asking questions around what is the relevance of industrial park, why are we getting industrial park into Enugu? Why are we talking about industrial park? What is even it about? So just in case you don't know, in the industrial parks have several benefits: boosting economic growth, attracting investments, and creating job opportunities for local communities. Now let's talk about this thing and break it down, as the case may be. Now, let's talk about the relevance of industrial park for businesses. One, industrial parks often provide dedicated infrastructure like high-power electricity, high-end communications, and large-volume utilities, reducing costs for businesses. Industrial parks also provide flexibility. Parks can offer flexible zoning requirements and easy reconfiguration of spaces to accommodate various business needs. Industrial parks can also attract and retain a skilled workforce, making it easier for businesses to find qualified employees. Some industrial parks actually offer reduced property taxes, sales tax, and inventory taxes. For communities where these industrial parks will be situated, industrial parks can stimulate economic growth by attracting investment, creating jobs, and increasing demand for local services. In the industrial park, the presence of business within a park can generate additional tax revenue for the local government. The development of industrial parks often leads to improvements in local infrastructure, such as roads, utilities, and transportation networks. Some parks implement sustainable practices such as waste management and energy efficiency, which can reduce the environmental impact of industries. Industrial parks can contribute to a higher quality of life in surrounding areas by creating jobs, attracting businesses, and improving infrastructure. Industrial parks serves as a vital engine for economic growth and development within local communities by concentrating manufacturing and industrial activities within a designated area. Cities and towns can better manage resources, isolate transportation impact, and promote innovation. Anyways, our station hosted the Commissioner for Lands to really speak expansively on this particular park, and I thought that it's going to be a very, very important discourse for you to listen to and to know more from the expert himself on why the Enugu State Government is establishing an industrial park and how important it is and relevant in today's world. All right, I appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, share, and like. I'd love to hear from you as always. God bless.
Concept of the industrial park, is the icing on the cake, if you like, in the journey set forth by His Excellency Dr. Peter Mba, the Governor of Enugu State, to move the economy of Enugu State from the baseline of $4.4 billion US dollars, which he met it, to a $30 billion economy. Of course, the twin to that is to make Enugu the destination of choice for investments and for living. So that will then explain why the industrial park. The industrial park is an all-in-one shop that is designed with the world-class benefits of a free trade zone, of an international customs area, and of course, it would interest you to know that it also has provision for residences. What it means is that as a free trade zone, like we know it globally, it means that businesses there are immune from taxes and other duties. They are duty free. So that already gives investors the advantage. Typically, like when you are at international airports and you say you're shopping at duty-free areas, it means you're not going to pay duty on those goods. Then again, when we talk of the fact that it's an international custom area, it means that it is actually a destination for shipment. So for our investors, for potential investors within the Southeast and beyond, it means that you can actually ship your container, for instance, from Asia, from Europe, from America, from wherever, and your destination would be Lion Business Park, and nobody's going to open it until it lands there. It's going to be opened there. So technically, it's like a dry port. What it means is that that is a custom area. So you're not going to have to open your container, for instance, at any other distant place and then begin to ship your goods. It means that's where you ship your goods. And then the other advantage, of course, is what His Excellency Dr. Peter Ndwisimba already, I don't know, I'm sure you followed his conversation at the Commonwealth Summit in the UK, 2-3 weeks ago, where he adumbrated the need to actualize the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. So that again tells you that we are keen into this as an invitation to the world to behold Enugu. And Enugu is set for investment. This park sits on 2,000 hectares of tableland.
And I'm going to utilize this opportunity to ask you, where would it be located in Enugu?
It is located. It is not would be located.
Okay.
It's in existence already, as a matter of fact. It is at a location that is just about 15, 20, 30 minutes drive from the international airport.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have to believe that it is within the metropolis.
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to wonder how the hectares of land you just mentioned, where we can have that without displacing people.
Like I said, it's already in existence. It's a built up. It's already, the infrastructure is already there. Even though His Excellency, the governor, has already committed to even more robust infrastructure build out within the area. I have visited there personally, and I invite interested investors to visit. Some of the infrastructure is already ongoing. Some investors are already building out. There's already subscription going on there.
That's interesting.
Absolutely. So it is just after 9 Mile, which is in itself a business hub. So it is strategically located at a place that His Excellency, the governor, has already declared as the industrial hub of the state. So it's an industrial corridor that we have that is also probably about 30 minutes to Onitsha.
Okay.
That way, it's probably about, like I said, 20 minutes to the international airport. And it's probably about, 3 hours to the Onitsha seaport. So it's a vantage location that we believe also enhances, its attractiveness to investors. In addition to all these other issues I've mentioned about the free trade, about the international customs destination, and of course, our commitment to ease of doing business in Enugu State. He has also instructed that we begin to enhance the power supply in the location so that it can be optimized. There is power there are infrastructure, but we need to do more. That His Excellency is committed to excellence. So when he says all roads should be paved, he means all roads
should be paved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering why the partnership with Lion Business Park? Why the choice of that particular enterprise to organization with Enugu State? Is there a particular reason the Enugu State is partnering with them?
Yes, because it keys into the agenda of the state government. It keys into the vision of His Excellency, the governor. So when he's already talking of making Enugu the destination of choice, and he identifies potentials in this kind of park, business park, it's actually one in 1,000, if I may say. I think for now it is about the only free trade zone in the southeastern Nigeria. So it is something that a responsible government like we have currently in Enugu would easily be happy to partner with and enhance for the benefit of the Enugu and beyond.
All right, let's look at the scale park gap. Right now, we are looking into the benefits of this park, and we're taking them one after the other. I know that you mentioned some, but we'll also look at some that you did not mention. Will this in some way address the skill gap. I mean, if some things require special skills and they are to, to be here in the industrial park, which is located in Enugu State, will that address the skill gap among the workforce, Nigerian workforce?
Precisely, yeah, because if you look at the way it is structured, it's an international destination. So what it means is that it's nothing less than best practice. Now, recall that once you declare an area of a free trade area, free of duties, what it means is that naturally you are attracting the best. And a typical investor would rather not pay more. Yes. So it already tells him that you can come here and you're free of duties. It also means that for the buyers, for the customers, they are also sure that they may just get it, a naira or two less than the typical market price. But when you knock off duty, the ultimate benefit is to the consumers. Now, that also goes into the skill area that you mentioned. Because what it means is that they are better able to actually engage the best hands. Because it is recognized as an international location, it means that you are able to easily work out issues of expatriate quotas and, international staff. It means that your best hands are able to be there. It means that these international brands and international organizations are able to come in there and build offices, build factories, build malls, and operate there. So it also means that the typical brands, in the various areas, be it brands in terms of fabrics, be it designers, be it brands in terms of technology, ICT tools and equipment, are able to come in there and set up businesses.
Now, with what you're saying is going to address local employment, it's going to facilitate economic growth. I think that's the intention. But are there specific sectors that this will address? For instance, we understand the textile stuff going on in Abia State, and even the shoemaking. This particular hub, is it going to be a jack of all trades?
Like I said, it is really a one-stop shop.
So virtually everything.
Absolutely. When you want to visualize 2,000 hectares of land, it's really like
that was why I screamed and was wondering where it would have been located.
Okay, we have that amount of that kind of space for the Enugu State Industrial Park. The economic impact of it, not economic, but environmental impact, where you have so many processes going on there, productions and the rest of it. And how do you now control the environmental impact it has to the people living around there, basically?
Thank you. Yeah, so firstly, I'm happy to report that we're working in close synergy with our Ministry of Environment. As a matter of fact, we have both visited the location for unannounced visits and assessment of the location. And this is what we intend to continue, because those are the clear directions and the instructions of His Excellency, the Governor. We are not compromising on environmental standards. We make sure that for every activity, the EIA, the impact assessment, is conducted from start to finish, be it a production process, be it your waste management, be it the gas flaring, be it effluent. We make sure that all of that happens. Thankfully, the way His Excellency has also instructed that the relationship be structured, the host communities have been carried along, even from the point of acquisition of this land. That is probably why you see that everybody was there at the signing of the MOU. The three critical host communities that support this park were there. I saw
probably whose property cut across
that expanse of land. So they are involved. And of course, part of the assurance they have is that there will be no adverse environmental impact to the land or to the environment over there. It's a process that we intend to continue monitoring. So it's not that we have done it and then we leave it. No, there is still going to be continued collaboration with the state's Ministry of the Environment, the lands, of course, and trade and investments. So we are committed to the instructions and directives of His Excellency in this regard.
Okay. Honorable Commissioner, I know you are answering for everyone who is involved, all the ministries who is involved, but for clarity, I know you also mentioned the Ministry of Environment. In fact, you were extensive with much the ministry is going to do, and you also did not tell us anything about the commissioner, that's the ministry rather, of commerce, who I would want to, which ministry I would believe is handling the economic part of it, the trade. And apart from those two, and you who will have to make sure that there is a location, okay, I think that's where you come in. I don't know if there are other ministries involved in the business park, in the industrial park.
You know, the structure and the organization of governance by His Excellency is actually interwoven. Nobody operates in silos. So I mentioned trade and investment because they are definitely involved. Nobody can actually start and finish any process in silo. So you find out that for instance, in doing the infrastructure, it's going to probably involve the Ministry of Works. Yeah. In doing the environmental impact, it's going to involve the Ministry of Environment, and then trade and investment. And then who knows? By the time we get to a point and we think that there should be probably a school there, then of course education will
there's
come.
going to be a residential area.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
All right. Quincy.
This is a very big park. How is it going to impact the development of small business scales?
Okay, thanks, Winsley. The structure makes room for big, medium, and small. So you find out that there will also be malls, there will also be shop outlets. Yes, so everybody plays at his level.
And the big fish won't get to swallow the
absolutely not.
fish.
Absolutely not. So everybody, if an investor thinks all he wants is a shop to sell finished products, well and good, he takes in a shop. The other beauty of it is that the business plan is structured to make sure that a potential investor just makes an initial deposit and is at liberty to now build and start business, while the rest of the payment is structured over years. So you find out that capital is not tied up. Whether a shop, whether a mall, whether a hotel, whether a warehouse, whatever approach to business an investor has, there is soft landing, there is support, there is state support, of course. And we are happy to partner with the Lion Business Park because we have also seen serious commitment by the private partner. So we are very sure that it's going to be a win-win for everybody.
Okay. The governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, is always thinking smart. We know about the smart schools, the smart type 2 healthcare centers, and at some point, smart city was mentioned. So is this going to also leverage on technology? Are we expecting a smart industrial park as well?
Definitely.
Definitely. How smart?
It can't be world class today if it's not smart. The world is already gone far in technology that you can't have your typical trade, in the local version we had it. In fact, I would have added to the basket, smart farming, which we are also doing. Even in the land administration, we have introduced a lot of technology in the GIS technology and all of that. So that is definitely coming into the business park. So So you're going to find out that in terms of security, for instance, what His Excellency has done is going to also reflect in what happens at the business park. Recall that we have the Command and Control Center, which is able to view Enugu real time. So it means investors are safe. It means you can drop, your pin in front of your shop and you're sure to be there. Because I could in this context say that Dr. Peter Mba is watching. Because if you have, looked at the Command and Control Center, you find out that it's really possible to see every square meter in Enugu right in there. So there will be definitely the benefits of smart technology in these shops. We are going to also go green in terms of power supply, which also impacts on the environmental question. So by the time we go green, find out that things like solar are going to be more attractive for power generation and power supply there.
We know that this is about building the economy of Enugu State from 4.4 to about 30 billion. And now we have an exportation problem in Nigeria now with the tariffs and the rest of it. How is this industrial park going to benefit, export-oriented manufacturing?
Yeah, it's an ongoing conversation, which was what I referenced when I mentioned His Excellency's remarks about the AFTA, like we call it, the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. Recall that this was an agreement signed by essentially all the African states, declaring the biggest free trade area in the world as at today. And His Excellency Dr. Peter Mba called on the world to support the actualization of the terms and the spirit and the letters of that agreement. What it means, in essence, therefore, is that the market is there. By the time you are able to collapse customs issues, immigration issues, just within Africa, you will find out that we can trade here. The market is in Africa. So yes, we can still even take it beyond Africa, but there is a huge market in Africa that if we're able to trade within ourselves, if we're able to, take our goods to the rest of the Western Africa, to Central, to North Africa, South Africa, you find out that you may not even be able to meet the demands of your customers.
So what's the expected timeline for the completion and full operation of the industrial park?
The industrial park is, I would say, ready for business. So what we're doing now is calling on investors to take advantage, because we expect that in the next 12 months, you might be a secondary buyer.
Oh.
Yes. In the next 12 months, you might be looking at buying from, an existing buyer. So it is something that we are saying, hurry up. Or you might end up just being a tenant, on a spot that you would have probably been the owner. So we are happy and proud to tell the Enugu that, and even the entire world, that the Lion Business Park is ready for business. I'm happy to take, investors and potential investors on a guided tour of the facilities at any time.
Now, still on that, I would like to find out what the criteria will be. What are the requirements? Who should go for it? Who should actually think in that direction? And how can they go about it?
The operations of the park are, of course, driven by the Lion Business Park, which is already an incorporated entity. The state is a partner who, of course, is there to provide the support, the assurance, and of course the infrastructure for the business to run. So in that context, everybody can be seen as an investor. So for whatever business, be it service, be it production, be it manufacturing, and like I just added, be it residentials, we encourage such operators, such investors to come in. Recall that means even as a developer, you can take up the residential area and decide to build based on the plan. It of course means you could build to sell, or build to lease, or build to rent. So there is really room for every player.